YouTube? Welcome to my channel. I am Mr. Make Life Happen, and I hope you guys are having a super blessed day because life is so good. So today I want to talk about the 7 eyes of God. The 7 eyes of God. The greatest book ever written is the Bible. In order for you to understand it and interpret this book, you must read it as symbolic. This book is not a book on secular history. It is all spiritual and divine history, and this is why it's written in the form of parables, because it has a deeper spiritual meaning. In the Bible, Zechariah, he saw a stone that has 7 facets, and these 7 facets are the 7 eyes of God. So in his vision, he saw this stone, and he heard a voice say, "These are the 7 eyes of God that reach out over the entire world." Well, these 7 eyes are in you. You are the earth of God. Some people actually refer to these 7 eyes as the 7 chakras. The only earth is you. You are the only earth. So the 7 eyes within us are the 7 visions of God, the Creator. And all these teachings are biblical, but you don't see them until you actually look for them. So now let's talk about the 7 eyes or the 7 visions of God within each man. Number 1 is found in Isaiah 14. And it is named Lucifer. This is the morning star, and it talks about how he's falling and how he's cut to the ground. The second eye or vision is Moloch. This is the strange god that demands sacrifices, Jeremiah 32. So this is the eye within you that thinks that you have angered God, and then you think you have to make some type of sacrifice in order to satisfy God. This is the second eye, Moloch. The third eye or vision is Elohim, or gods. So this is when you worship gods outside of you. This is when you worship stars and you worship astrology. And then you depend on these influences, but yet they fail you. They don't succeed for you. The fourth eye is Shaddai. Shaddai, this is the fourth vision. So this is when you seek comfort in politics. You seek comfort in the government. And you put your trust in these leaders and then they fail you too. This is the fourth vision, Shaddai. And after the government and politics and its leaders have failed you, you turn to the fifth eye or the fifth vision called Pahath. Pahath. And this means to dig a ditch. So what this means is that you try to bring people into your traps, like businesses or maybe newspapers. For example, a business that have subliminal messages or certain things to make you buy things that you don't ever need, or the newspaper maybe putting out false information that is not even useful. It's putting people into a trap to make them think something that is not true. So this is the fifth eye, Pahath, or the fifth vision. So the sixth eye or the sixth vision within you is called Jehovah or Yad-He-Vah-He. So this is I am. So this is when you grow out of the process of trying to trap others to help you and trying to convince them to bring you the things that you need. So you understand that whatever you condition to after I am, you understand that that becomes your reality. You understand that your reality is I am or Jehovah. And this is the sixth eye or the sixth vision within you. So the seventh eye or the seventh vision within you is called Jesus or Jesus Saves. This is when you sacrifice yourself for the entire world. This is when your heart is broken because there are many people around you that are still asleep and do not know this. You sacrifice yourself for the world, but not as the church teaches, but as the mystic teaches it. So seeing through the eyes of Jesus or sacrificing yourself for another means to see them in the ideal state and move them to that state mentally. So if you know someone who is in pain, their ideal state would be no pain or health. So you will see them ideally in your mind having health. And then you hold on to this idea. And then when you hold on to this idea, they move to another state and they become healthy. And then when you see this, and you physically see this process of them moving from one state to the other state, and you help them, and you sacrifice yourself to get them to that mentally, then you're seeing through the seventh eye, or the eye of Jesus. Whenever you begin to imagine for others and you see them embody your imagination, and you actually enjoy this more for them than you do yourself, this is the eye of Jesus. This is when you begin to see through your seventh eye. So you begin you begin this scene of the seventh eye, and then something stirs up. Something stirs up within you, like something trying to get out of an egg, something trying to break through Golgotha. This is your skull. This is also referred to as the Kundalini rising. So this breakthrough is held by 5 nails, or 5 senses. So these are your 5 senses that keep you nailed to this world, but then you break through Golgotha, Calvary, or the skull, and this is when your seventh eye within you is actually clarified. So now that your seventh eye is clarified, or the eye of Jesus, now your eighth eye opens and you see the true reality. So now that you see this true reality, you can't deny it. You have experienced it, and you will no longer blame others for the things that happen in your life. So when you see with your eighth eye, you see the perfect world. This perfect world is called circumcision. And this is the unveiling of the perfect organ, your imagination. In the book of Luke and Leviticus, it says on the eighth day, he is to be circumcised. So this means that you have discovered or unveiled your imagination. So this doesn't happen with time. This happens after you open your seventh eye, and after you've proved your seventh eye. So then you will realize that God became us so that we may become him. So God limited himself by becoming a human. And living in this state is the grave of man. So God lays with you in this grave called human until you awaken and you experience this enlightenment. And then when you experience this is when you raise from the grave. And everybody will experience this resurrection. So let's recap the 7 eyes of God. Number 1 is Lucifer, the fallen one. 2 is Moloch. This is when you make sacrifices to God. Number 3, we have Elohim. These are gods, fake gods. This is when you worship stars and planets. 4 is Shaddai. This is when you worship financial and political advisors. Number 5 is Pahath, when you try to convince others and you try to bring them into your traps. 6 is Jehovah, or Yahweh. This is when you know that I am creates your only reality. And the last one is Jesus, or Jesus saves. This is when you want to see others happier than you see yourself. These are the 7 eyes of God. In Job 42:5, it says, I heard by the hearing of my ear, but now my eye seeth thee. So something happens to you, and then your 8th eye is open, and then you are circumcised. Now you are circumcised in the mind, not the flesh. And then when this something opens up within you, then you will see the reason for all of this. So you will see that you are eternal, and you see that you have the power to help anyone out of any state. Now this is the 8th eye of God. This knowledge comes from personal experience, and you can experience and experiment this whenever you want to. The only way to know something is to experience it. So once you experience this, it does not matter what the rest of the world thinks. You will understand. You will understand that your imagination creates all reality, and you will no longer question the outer world. Whenever you go within, your outer world changes. So you can imagine a better job, a better marriage, or better health. So what you do is you mentally, you sit at that desk of that better job, or you mentally see yourself doing the responsibilities that the better job requires. If you were in a perfect marriage, how would you be carrying yourself? How would you feel? If you had perfect health, what type of things would you be doing? You can imagine all of these things. And whenever you persist in the assumption, these things will manifest in your outer world. But you have to go inwardly in order to see the changes on the outside. You can be or have whatever you want, but there's going to come a time in your life where you're going to start to give up yourself for man. You're going to start sacrificing your time for man. You would rather see them happy and enjoy this beauty of seeing somebody else happy and seeing them embody equality or an ideal life that they want to experience. This is what happened. This is what happens when you open up your eighth eye or the eye of God. But before opening this eye, you're going to experience the seventh eye or the eye of Jesus. And then once you open up your eighth eye, you will realize that it's okay to have these materialistic things, but they're only here to entertain us for just a little bit. Whenever man awakens, that is the eye of God. So there are seven eyes that are stated, but the eighth one is implied. When your eighth eye is open, it's going to feel like a fiery serpent. This is referred to as Kundalini rising or Kundalini awakening. So it's going to feel like a fiery serpent, and it's going to start at the base of your spine, and it's going to go up like a snake, and you're going to feel it to the top of your skull. That is the Kundalini rising or the opening of the eighth eye. The eighth eye is misunderstood by the churches, and they circumcise children. So it is our imagination that has to be revealed, not the physical organ. And this comes through the perfect vision of the seventh eye or the eye of Jesus. This is when you mentally see someone in your imagination in a certain state, and then you see them embody it in the outer world. This is the seventh eye or the eye of Jesus. Whenever you hold this image of someone in your mind and you see them embody it in the outer world, and you feel this joy over and over and over, your head becomes alive and you feel these electrical currents running through it. But don't worry, you don't have to worry, because you're naturally going to know what to do. It's kind of like a chick trying to poke its way out through an egg. So you're going to know what to do. And then you will see a completely different world. And the world that you will see is going to be perfect, because you're seeing it through the eye of God or your eighth eye. You're going to see through all seven eyes, from Lucifer to Jesus. Whenever your eighth eye is open, then you understand what's displeasing to God. So when your eighth eye opens, that is a return of Jesus. But you have to use your seventh eye or the eye of Jesus to awaken up your eighth eye, open up the eye of God. If you're a Christian, you use the seventh eye, the eye of Jesus. Most priesthood and churches, they use the fourth eye, and that is not Christianity. You must use the seventh eye or the eye of Jesus. So Jesus is the eye of God that gives himself up for every man. So it doesn't matter what race or background, he gives himself up for every being in this world, and he sees them in their perfect ideal state. Now this is what you call Christianity, or to be Christ-like, or to have Christ consciousness. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next video, self-circumcision. Self-circumcision. If you haven't already, check out my new merch. Link will be in the description below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon, go out there and use your gifts and make life happen. Peace.